Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're live. We're rocking and rolling. We are going to talk about some crazy things. Is the worst yet to come, or is it time to buy the dip? I know you saw all the weekend news, but let's see what it actually equates to. If you saw my last, there's two videos I last did. They're on Don Fron show. I am live on multiple platforms right now. But one talking about Tesla. I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts on that. But then also two, sorry about the audio on that one. That was hotel Wi-Fi. There was nothing I could do. The second one, just kind of in my car ranting about why this is the time to be paying attention, to be borrowing from someone with experience. It's going to be really hard to discern the fluff and the noise. And I'm going to try to start. I'm doing a video every day for the next couple of weeks, just trying it out, and they will just be just kind of facts. Here's what's going on. Here's what it is. Just keep it moving forward, like 8 to 10 minutes. So let me know how you feel about those, what I should be breaking down or going over. As of right now, futures are open. Dollar did gap down. Futures did gap up. As we saw the dollar rise, we did see the markets fall. Now, the dollar did bounce here. I am long the dollar, so seeing this kind of come back down, I'm doing all right. I went long the Japanese yen, US dollar, Japanese yen in this zone. So I'm actually doing all right. I do have my stop. It is below these wicks right here. I know this is the hourly, which is not where I'm at typically. But what I don't want that to be is just a lower high and coming down. So I just want to make money on it, we'll see what we're doing because we're still very much trending down. This could just be a great opportunity to enter short. In fact, if I was, my stop would be just above today's open and high. Gap was filled and breaking down. All right. On which one? Maybe the Bitcoin. If we saw Bitcoin, I talked about this. Be careful with these trend lines. Now, we did bounce kind of right here on this, which is awesome. That's a cool story, right? And also just that. Be careful drawing these lines because I can draw lines on any chart and really sell you a position in any direction, up, down, sideways, aggressively up, aggressively down. And what you don't want to be doing if you don't have the experience is out there just drawing Picasso every which direction. And like, I got this. And then nothing ever pans out. Let's keep an eye on this. Overall, we have some lower highs, and we could talk about this being a higher low on a bigger time frame. Probably is. I think this was because Trump tweeting about a national reserve in some kind of cryptocurrency. We'll see. Right there again, a lot of talking, not a lot of noise, a lot of fluff. This is one of those I'll believe it when I see it kind of moments. But each time there is a tweet or something like that comes out, then you have to worry about. I mean, not worry about it. It will cause movement. There is that short term, like this could be it. Me personally, I'm buying Bitcoin no matter what. So it doesn't actually matter to me. I don't trade it due to the, there's fees, the volatility just in general. I just buy it every week, ups and downs. But I would say for anybody that is trading it, keep an eye out for that. That will move the altcoins as well. I know everyone's talking about XRP because the bank's new literature is coming out on the 10th. And the code from XRP already fits that. I'm butchering this description, but I know people are just on board. They're loving that. They're probably expecting on March 10th they're going to announce XRP is the golden child. We're going to use it for everything. To be realistic, it's not going to be the case. I do still have my XRP. I'm just going to look for the run up into there, and I basically think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So I'll look at that. How do I determine if the stock just ran out of time on Friday or if it's just a pullback? NVIDIA on Friday went up 1 to 2% in the last 2 hours. How would you, if it kept going, how would I know if the market would have kept going if the market didn't close? Actually, I just went over that the other day. Actually, it was with my group. Sorry. If you guys are curious about that, guys, it'll be the top pinned comment down below. It always is. I encourage you to come check out the group. But when you kind of have these just no wick scenarios, even just give you this tiny little bit, like when we're looking at this, and I know this is a crypto, it doesn't close. Let's pretend this was a stock. Here's the close. We ran into that and the bell rang, and you really don't know. And this is the one time. So like if my stock looks like this and I'm trailing, I put my stop in and I'm just trailing, and it doesn't tag out. A lot of times on situations like this, maybe if we ran into a zone, let's say it looked like, that right there, maybe had that zone been like, right, let's just call that the zone. And that's what my day looked like. I'm probably closing half just because you don't know if it's going to gap down. Are we going to find those sellers or, you know, like you said, did the market, we just run out of time. That's it. You know, and the market opens and we're back to the races. So ultimately, just looking like if we just go up nonstop like that, no pulling back, and it's just a smooth, clean, we're going up. Then I tend to lean more on the bell probably just rang out. Looking at the S&P right here, again, weird. Imagine not having these boxes. Just kidding. Ultimately, we ran down. We snapped. Oil held right here, kind of hit that zone, kind of really hung out. We finally broke down, made it to that yellow zone. If you go to the daily, and we just bounced right off it. Remember, the yellow time frames, they are the 4-hour daily time frame. There's only one candle difference in there, which is why I say 4-hour daily. Now, we bounced out of that. We sent it. It was a good Friday, right? Like I talked about, profit taking for the shorts. Good old fashioned take profit Friday. Now, if you went short and you covered your profits, that's buy side activity. Sell to open, buy to close, and they might have just bought to close right here. You caused the ramp up. Maybe market makers are reining it back in. So you really don't know. Is this the bounce? Now, I had talked about this not being the crash. If you just go to the video right before that, how it doesn't seem like this would be the crash and more of a 5% pullback. And right now we from the high to the low, 5.09%. I kind of think we are going to rally right here. Now, who knows what or why? We'll leave that to the the excuse committee. We got to find a name for them. You know, I don't know. I don't really care. Remember, charts are where they vote with their money. I follow the money and greed first. Everything else comes second. It's a good conversation piece, but also, hey, where are they leading things? Where are they trying to take things? And it's not that news doesn't move the markets. Some news certainly is, out of the market's control, and it's a surprising factor. A lot of it is put out there to create exit liquidity, just to create that drama and liquidity to keep things moving, keep things greased, which is why I focus on this first and everything else later. Now, what I'm watching for now is actually going to be one of these two yellow zones. We could turn around at one of these blue ones. That's why they're there. They are zones. If anything, probably more this blue one right here. So I'm going to keep an eye on one of these three for a lower high. Now, if we get that lower high, and it more than likely going to be one of these two zones. I'm thinking yellow if we could get there. That's when I will buy the put. If you guys are part of the community, you guys know I bought puts. Told you I was going to buy put. And if you, it's not a call out service, but if you agreed with my analysis, you took a similar play, well, you made some money, right? Bought the SPY put. SPY melted down. Locked that in because I don't think it's a crash. I bought August expiration. Locked that in, and I'm thinking it pops up a little bit higher, and then I'm going to get back in that one. So right now, futures did gap up a little bit. So we gapped up, opened up here, hit that blue zone. Currently selling off. This is what Donald in the chat is talking about. How we just filled the gap. We gapped up. We just fill it. Yeah. Well, we'll see. A lot of time before market opens. So before we start worrying about bullish or bearish, I'll tell you my chips are going to be on the bearish side. I went ahead and hung out over the weekend, and I even told my chat that let's hang tight because this is a very awkward moment to just be a great time to go short and kind of play the overall trend. But if it's just going to be a 5% dip like we've had multiple times, we're probably going to get the continuation up. And I might just, if we're still here or higher in the morning, I'll have to be bullish. So keeping an eye out for that. If you guys, there is a new chart link for the YouTube members. If your name is green, if you're on my Patreon, I will post that as soon as this is done. There's a new chart link. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, if you can actually just click the join button on YouTube. I don't think it's there for mobile. You got to be on a computer. But look in the community tab. You'll see a link. You'll just save the layout. So you'll have all my zones, all my lines. You'll have everything. He says, I know you're referring to the Wii account, WII. We will play ours. Exactly. So anyway, if you're trying to load my charts, the zones aren't working. That's why. New link. I will post that. If you're in the Discord, it's already there. Look at the NASDAQ. Look how identical those look. All right, so as far as the NASDAQ goes, we actually ripped this. This thing looked a little bit weaker, too. We talked about that. Came all the way down to this zone, ultimately bouncing. We got a bounce Friday. Did not make it very far. Now we made it from here to here. Banging. Now, if the S&P is walking, then the NASDAQ is running, right? Now it gapped up. It's certainly down a little bit more. This actually has quite a bit more to go, even to call it a dead cat bounce. I mean, this bounce is quite literally nothing. This is what I expect the cat to bounce if its last meal was peanut butter. There was just a giant shock absorber. Didn't go anywhere. The spicier play would be to go long the Qs right now. I might lean towards that as well. New all-time high if we don't go lower. I think we have some ground to cover before we can, actually call that out. Some people can call it out now, and again, they'll probably be more coincidentally right than anything. But let's see if we don't make a lower high first, because if we pop this thing up, we get another jobs report or PCE, and then all of a sudden it's bad, and we melt this thing down. You'll end up looking like a fool. But more importantly, what you don't want your account to look like is a fool's account. So we could talk about it. We can call it all-time highs. We can call it brand new lows. What's important is, how is your money positioned? Because if you think new all-time highs, then full send. I assume we're 100% in calls, because why just go long when you can add leverage to that? And I'm doing this whole rant not just to you off your comment, because you did say if we don't go lower. But for everybody that is making a lot of call outs, it seems in this volatility, being in the position I'm in, I get to see a bunch of comments and everything like that. And there's just a lot of definites out there. And I don't think the volatility right now is worth the definite comments. We are above the line right here. And if you guys are new here, when I talk about the VIX, it is a light switch. It is an on or off scenario. That's why there's just one line on here. Ignore this. I don't really zone this out. I don't care. I don't really trade the VIX. I do have a VIX call. So completely forget what I just said. What I don't do is when it gets down here, I just start buying it up for no apparent reason, hoping something comes along like Freddy the Cougar and scares the market. But remember, so guys, I've been doing this for 13 years. Every candle so far in this last over decade has been red or green. Nothing's changed. So until that day comes, I'll just keep trading the same way. And when the VIX is below this, that next red or green candle is going to be a smaller medium. When the VIX is above here, that next red or green candle could be a big red or green. And that's when it's time to dial back the allocation. Let that movement make up for size. So remember, if there's a spicy move coming, you can whole account it, win big or lose big, or you could spend a whole lot less and make the same. And that's a banging deal for me. I like it when the volatility is high, because instead of risking $2,000, I get to risk $500. And all of a sudden, it's making what a $2,000 position would make, a $2,000 in risk position. Looking at the expected moves right here. Man, if we just had a green week, go straight to the expected move, market makers can just sit back at their desk, and we still put in a decent lower high. Looking at the Grandpa Dow. Now, Grandpa Dow really hanging out back and forth between here. I gotta say, I think I'm bullish. The other day, I might have said this looked weaker, and it did. It was kind of hanging out. I want to say I was bullish the other day, but just in case I wasn't, I am now. I think we're basing out. I think we've seen a lot of. I think the fear is probably going to calm down. In that case, you'll see some of these pop up. If you really are a fan of trend lines, I guess drag this thing out and see how it interacts. If we're going to keep it on board there. Now, the reason why I draw trend lines, because you might hear me talk almost bad about them, and it's not a bad. It's just kind of more of a warning, right? Now, I draw trend lines because I do all my planning at night. Right, stock market's not moving, futures are open, 3 people are trading. Right, in the Tokyo session, 3 or 4 people. I could probably text everybody in a group text, and that's how many people are trading. It doesn't actually matter. But tomorrow, I'm looking at my phone. I set alerts at night. My watch will vibrate, and then boom, I open the chart up on my phone. But the real estate on my phone is like this. So then I'll know, like, these are just my notes. Like, hey, we could be looking out for a lower high. We'll keep an eye there. They're not playable events for me. Would you ever upload a futures trading session done by you? Yeah, I have. You can look it up on the channel. So we can see your execution. You can edit and skip the boring parts. The part is I trade futures zone to zone. So I would have to just screen record all day. And then I mean I call it out in my chat. Aren't you in the chat? Like, yeah, just I went long here, and then I'll move my stop up, and then you'll see a few hours later, move my stop up. Move my stop up. It really is boring. Except for the I think TEM was probably the most because that was move my stop up, move my stop up, move my stop up, move my stop up. Yeah, here's the most as far as call outs in a row that's happened. Stop loss at TEM 53.85. Move the stop loss, put stop loss up, move the stop loss on TAM, added 10 shares, put the new stop there, and just kept going. TEM pumped, new stop 56. This ends the saga, I think, because I was kind of just going to leave my stop there. But I trade futures just the same. Nothing changed. I don't scalp the futures. It was actually a while back. I used to really scalp futures, but then I realized you just make pennies doing that. It was a $10,000 trade, and because I went from zone to zone. I was like, why don't I just trade these yellow box to yellow box? And it actually was, I think it was on the Russell. It was a report that came out and just sent the thing. And I just trailed it the whole time. Was it? Maybe it was right inside here. And ever since then, I was like, nah, I'm for sure just going to trade like I trade everything else. Is that a 50% retrace on the Dow? Are we talking about right here? Want to draw some little rainbow boxes? For the Fibonacci people out there, let's do this. Where are my Fibonacci? Fibonacci. I think we did this backwards. Yeah, hang on. We're backwards. I do just want to shout out my buddy. I don't want to say his name, but his kitchen island. His off. He's an island in his office, and it's to the exact Fibonacci coordinates, numbers. There is a word I'm looking for. Pretty close. We're just past it. 50. Isn't it wild? Of mathematicians from that long ago just found a random pattern in numbers, and people are making millions off of it. Probably not bad. Let's go to the daily time frame. That's not a bad spot. Fibonacci people probably are excited to buy the dip right there. Let's see. Measurements? No, there's another word I'm looking for. It's not measurements. The numbers the ratio, Fibonacci ratio. That's what I was looking for. Let's do a couple real quick. Did you guys see Tesla? 3 standard deviations last week. Get wrecked. Ultimately, it bounced right here. Now, the part I'm really upset about is I actually went short Tesla pretty close to the top just because every time Tesla does this, it just comes back down. This is normal Tesla activity. And I made a bunch of money, and I don't want to brag. Killed it, right? Tesla. There was a couple days inside here. I just couldn't lose, but like my short stopped right there. Like I dabbled in it. Had I just held on to that position, gosh, it would have been an amazing trade. The way it just melted down the next few days. I don't like playing the what if or the shoulda woulda game, but sometimes you just can't help it. Like that was, especially when you almost top ticket. Like, man, we're a little bit up there. Let's give it some time. You give it the right time, the perfect execution. Then you're like, you know what? I've made enough. Let's get rid of it. Gosh. And then once it melts down too much, you can't chase things. You got to just wait for the right opportunity. I got to say, I'm probably bullish Tesla this week. Looking at the really stupid indicator, we got a little bit oversold by Tesla standards. We're not in any new territory, that's for sure. So I would be careful with Tesla. If the markets overall are bullish, you'll probably see a bounce on Tesla. I don't know if I would expect You know what? Actually, I wouldn't expect anything on this. New all-time highs or a sideways all in the same week. Tesla will be the one that I probably look for trades this week. And don't confuse my Tesla trades with my Tesla investment. I do have Tesla. It's going to stay. But Tesla is a phenomenal ticker to trade. Love or hate Elon, it doesn't matter. Remember, money is made off of movement. I don't really care why you guys want to kiss his feet or burn his house down. I don't care. And if your opinion isn't backed by something like actionable, then I probably wasted my time reading the comment. It's kind of how I feel. But, you know, to each their own. This one, a lot of money is made. Do I think Bitcoin will pull back this week? As in pull back and go up? No, I'm kind of bullish this week. Let's actually check out the news. Do we have any factor? Maybe I'll change my mind here in a second. Tomorrow we got PMI. So we got some letters. Williams, Let's see, employment, global services, PMI. So we got just the alphabet this week. Jobless claims are normal Thursday. Waller and Bostic with no voting rights, but still likes to grab the mic like he's Eminem and talk a bunch. Markets sometimes can move off that. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. Powell coming out to wrap this week up, huh? Okay. Get you some. What color is his tie going to be? Is it Powell puts? We'll never know. For now, I'm going to front run the risk. I think I'm going to go overall be bullish in general. Meta needs to come down a little bit further. You're bullish on crypto? I don't think I wouldn't be for now. Microsoft also looks like a pretty decent dip buy right here. I might go ahead and sell some puts on Microsoft. I'm going to do a couple more videos as far as the wheel strategy goes, because I think some people, if you've done the wheel strategy for the last couple of years, what are you up? 150, 200% a year? You've killed it. And I want some people. So if I do focus on the wheel for the next few days, it's not the end all be all, but I also want to just make things very clear. This year's probably going to suck for people doing the wheel strategy and options. Now, just like everything else, it has its time to shine. It has its ebbs and flows. This will be one of the downtimes. There's ways that you just make less money, and then there's ways you can do it and really just lose a bunch of money. So I want to kind of focus on that crew for the next few days. But let's cover. Hang on, we talked about NVIDIA might be a good bounce. What we need, ladies and gentlemen, is an AMD bounce. I would prefer AMD actually hit that 95 mark before it bounces, because that's what I'm waiting for to buy more. I may grab some. One more. We're going to do a couple more. So I do see ACHR and Coin. We're going to go over that. But Mara, if you guys did not see my video on Mara, look at this earnings. Just 1,000%. No big deal. They expected a loss of 13 cents, and all the analysts are like, this thing sucks. They're going to lose 30 cents. They came in at positive $1.24. Said, get out of here with that garbage. We basically are NVIDIA, but like a long time ago NVIDIA. I am interested to see what's rocking and rolling here. Fundamentally, I actually, out of not this earnings, but the one before, I had posted a video about it. Why it went from a Bitcoin miner, like, fun to trade, to this goes into my investment account and it's going to stay there for a little bit. And right now they're starting to show off. So I'm curious to see when money does come back in, how much of it piles back into this. Who's got their eyes on this? Not to say, like the thumbnail and title is the worst yet to come. Very much so. This is not the bottom. I just don't think we actually started yet. All right, so looking at Coin, this will probably get a nice bounce out of this zone. Given where Bitcoin's at, you'll probably see Coin start to rally up. What I would be cautious of is Coin at that 270 mark. We do have a zone right here at the 240, but if Bitcoin and everything's just kind of really bullish and Coin kind of can catch some momentum, Coin can really run. Don't let that fool you. I would keep an eye out for that 270 mark. If I'm in it and I bought down here at this zone, all of a sudden we're up here, I'm going to move that stop loss up just in case, ACHR. What do you know about that? What do you know about that? Where is Technician? He sold an $8 put. I do believe he was not assigned. He assumed he was going to be assigned, and then he didn't. I was like, man, it'd be cool if you did get assigned. So earnings came out, dropped it, bounced out of that zone, and just a miraculous recovery. Honestly, the way that bounced like that tells me anything below 8, somebody's grabbing it up. So this is in my investment account, and it might actually make its way into the growth account where I post all the plays. Just at this price point, I don't think it's going to be a bad one. All right, Palantir. That is a good question. How much more is Palantir going to fall? It's at $85. It's probably going to 40, so about $45 more. Sorry, Tom Nash. And all of his followers. Just kidding. I actually will be watching here at this $60 mark, 67. The thing is, guys, Palantir is an awesome company. I am a huge fan. If you guys remember, I got made fun of for buying it at $10 because was it this earnings right here? No, it's the one. This earnings right here. This earnings shot up. This tiny little candle right here shot up, and everyone told me I was buying it at the peak, but I bought it at that earnings because of what they were saying. I was like, this is it. Now, all the YouTubers have been pumping it for some time, and it looks like that. So what? This is when I was 100% on board. Like, this is great. Got made fun of for buying the peak. Kind of like when I told you guys I was going to buy Bitcoin at 16,000. Yeah. Anyway, just continue to rock and roll. I was an idiot. I sold a lot of it at $40. And then watch this. But this is not Palantir. Palantir is cool and all. This is a momentum trade. That's it. That's a middle finger pattern. We're about to make the other knuckles and start drawing out the forearm, it looks like. Palantir gave it all back. Oh, as far as the earnings, yeah, earnings sent it up. That was just hype and momentum, brought it all back. So we're kind of just right here again. When a stock pushes up like that, if you want now, valuation is something I don't really care about per se. You know, people have opinions, they have models. There's just too many variables. But there is a time when it's just outgrown everyone's analysis. That's how you know it's probably more of a momentum trade. It needs to come back down to reality. Palantir has all the cool stuff. It's a great AI stock, one of the top ones, but not now. You know, it needs to grow a little bit first, right? Let's put some of those words into action. Then now the CEO does a lot of that. He does not care about the now. He cares about the future. He is all about building that foundation one brick at a time. I could say nothing but good stuff about Palantir and the CEO, how it's ran, all that's fun, everything about it. But as far as the stock goes, that is a momentum trade, price action wise, and it's coming back down. So I'm going to buy it. But what I like to do when it's selling off like this, I just let the sellers do their thing. But I'm not shorting it. Let them do their thing. When this thing stops selling off, that's when I'll buy it. But ladies and gentlemen, I do have to hop off here. Shout out to everybody that's here. Can you guys do me a huge solid and hit the thumbs up button and comment? Ultimately, I'm trying to grow, which is why there's going to be a video every day for a little bit. I want to see if we can get some traction on that. If the traction, and everybody's got their, now this is for Don Front Show. I'll start adding videos to Don Front Trading. It'll be a clip thing. But for Don Front Show on YouTube, I'm going to do a video every day. And if that grows and the views grow, the traffic, the commenting, the engagement grows, the more it grows, the more I will post. Flat out. And I haven't announced this yet, but when it comes to the Patreon group, I kind of want to do levels. For instance, the next 100 mark, right? I post everything that I do. There's a lot of plays that I see that are decent, but just don't have the money, or I have my money's elsewhere right now. I want to start posting, I'll call it an unlock feature. Instead of just charging like a new level and all that, just once we get to a level, how can I provide more value? I'll start posting trades that I like, that I would take if the money was just hanging out right there. I like to keep my money out. I do not like sitting cash. But that is the next thing coming up. So I have things like that in the pipeline. So that is the whole pitch and everything. But more importantly, YouTube If that grows, the more it does, the more I'll do. So do me a solid. Let's just go 100% right now. Casey says, she's my admin, that you're supposed to like it and comment. I say share. Let's just try all 3 and see what happens. There's only so many jokes I can make. Hey, copy and paste. The thing is, YouTube doesn't know if you're, they will eventually figure it out. Just comment. Tell me how much you're a fanboy of Tesla and how wrong Mike is. That's going to be a fun one. It's entertainment for days. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Everyone else for the Zoom, hang tight. We're going live right now. Everyone else, you will see me. Yeah, Casey says subscribe. You do have to subscribe and turn the bell on if you actually one day want to get the notifications, but it is algo based as well. So even if you turn the bell on, you may or may not get the notifications. But anyway, that's enough. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.